Now that I have my surface created and my contours labeled, I can go ahead and I want to start to look at my horizontal alignment that I brought in from my GIS data that everybody had talked about and agreed on that this would be a good location for the road. So I'm going to start to kind of drop some things back because I don't necessarily need them right now for the part of design where we're at. So I'm going to type map W space, and I'm going to go ahead and just shut off some of my GIS data. And you can do this simply in the map task pane. You can just turn off the information by taking a check mark out. And what it'll do is it'll kind of free up my model. Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll turn off my map for right now. And I've got my detailed survey, and you can see the tree symbols that it brought in. So I've actually had the trees located. It's got the parking areas here, or a parking area here that they picked up in the field, a road. Again, some of the asphalt areas that you see here. This was an old, looks to be an old airport. You can see the outlines that it came in from the detailed survey. So I've got the information that I need, so now I can start to locate everything horizontally and vertically for my design on my road. Okay, so before I start to do any horizontal and vertical design, what I want to do is I want to check my drawing into the vault so I can start to actually allow others to utilize some of this information if they're trying to do some other design on this road simultaneously. So I'm going to go down, I'm going to create a project in the vault, and we'll call this new roadway project. And you can call this, you could have a job number, anything you want to describe this project. I'll just go ahead and hit OK. And you'll see here that I have a plus sign next to projects here in my tool space. So here's my new vault project. So then I could go ahead and just select check in. I'll go ahead and select my project, and I'll just leave, for right now, I'll leave it in my drawings folder. This is going to be, this drawing will go and be checked into my drawings folder. And this is the information that's going to be pushed to that particular project. It's going to bring my surface. Whenever we check this in later, it'll take all the alignments and profile information and everything for our project and put it in the vault. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. I'll select my surfaces to go in, and I'll let it go ahead and check the drawing in. So once our drawing is checked into the vault, I can go ahead and start some design. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create an alignment for my center line of my road. So I'm going to run up and I'm going to select create alignment from objects, select my object, and I'll give it a name. Again, this naming convention that you use, it can be anything. We're just going to call it a new road. We'll leave it a centerline type of road, and we'll drop down and make sure that we've got our style correctly set for our labels. So we want to be sure that we select major, minor, and geometry points for this particular roadway. So I'm going to go ahead and take the conversion options off, and I'll hit OK. Now, this is where we're going to start to talk about a little bit of the dynamic functionality inside of Civil 3D. So say that our roadway, I didn't necessarily meet exactly where I needed to here on the edge of pavement. So I could actually select my alignment, and I'll just grab and move it back just so you can see it updates all the stationing along that alignment whenever you grip edit that alignment. Now, I'm not on my initial location, but again, that's okay because the alignment is going to represent the center line. So I can grab the endpoint of my alignment, and I can actually set it perpendicular to the road. That way we'll have a nice 90-degree intersection here whenever we get to that level of design. But the point is that all of your stationing and labeling updates just by a simple grip edit of that alignment. So that's where we start to talk about the dynamic functionality inside of Civil 3D, and we will definitely hit on that more as we go along in the demonstration. So all of our labels and everything come in. Again, this is controlled with a style, so you can make any of these labels look like what you would have for your company style, so your company look. So we've got our alignment. Let's go ahead and start to look at this vertically. So if I go up to profile, I'm going to drop down and create a surface profile, and we'll select our alignment. We've only got one in the drawing. I'll go ahead and tell it I want to add my existing surveyed surface. I don't want my GIS surface. I just want my existing surveyed surface. This is what was collected in the field. I'll go ahead and add it, and I'll hit draw in profile view. And I'm going to leave all of this default except for my profile view style, and actually that's the one I wanted to use, so full grid. I'll hit next. We can control this by station range or give it a user specified range. We're just going to leave it automatic for right now. We're going to go ahead and accept the defaults throughout the rest of this dialog, and I'll hit create profile view. And I'll stick that profile out here to the side. So again, this center line is just a little bit hard to see, so I'm going to grab that center line. This is what it's sampled for our existing ground, and I'm going to go to the actual profile style, and let's just change that to a different color. Let's change it to like a green, and you can see it updates that quick. Now again, these styles would be something that you would want to set up in a company template. Then the line work would come in and look the way that your particular plan set or your company's plan set needs to look. So we're going to go ahead and throw a proposed grade on here so that we can start the design of our corridor. So I'm going to go up and get into my profile creation tools. I'll select my profile view here, and we're just going to call this finished grade. Again, whatever you name this, that's totally up to you. Today we're just going to call it finished grade. We're going to accept the defaults for the rest of the dialog. Our design profile is what we want to show for our actual profile itself, and our complete label set is the label style that we want. So once you select OK, we can go up in our toolbar and we can start to draw some tangents. So I'm going to select where I'm tying in my existing roadway, and I'm just going to throw in a profile. So I'm going to come down to there, and again, this can be done to a lot more precise level, but because this profile is so long, we're just going to start off just by adding them in by picking down through the profile view. And I will snap to the end. Now, I didn't get it all the way to the end of the profile, so that's not a big deal. We can just select the finished grade, and I can grab the grip edit marker, and I can then snap it to the end. Now again, notice what that did. If we look at our label here, if I pull that back, the label moves and the stationing updates. So everything is dynamic to that profile. I'll go ahead and snap back to that end. And now we've got our vertical in there. Now, again, that vertical can be laid into an exact station and elevation. There's a definite easy way to do that. It's just, again, for the length of profile and the amount of time that we have today, we're gonna just lay it in by hand. So I can grab each PI if I want, and I can move them to a specific location, and the labeling updates. I can also put in vertical curves. So if I want to put in a vertical curve according to, say, maybe length, I can grab the incoming and outgoing tangents, and it asks me to put in either a radius, pass through, or a K. So I'm going to just do these this set of vertical curves with a 200-foot radius. I'll pan on down. I'll select the next two tangents and say 200. Come to the next tangents, and I'll say that's a 300. We'll put in a 300-meter curve there also, and a 300 at that last location. Actually, there's one more. We'll say that one's a 300-meter curve. Now, you could have put those in by K factor, and it would have put the appropriate length in for the vertical curve according to K. So we've got all of our labeling for our profiles, and here's where we really start to see the dynamic functionality of Civil 3D. And I don't know if there's a good spot that you just instantly start seeing it. But the more that we start to design, the more the dynamic functionality really comes into play. So if I grab this vertical curve here and say I want to move it, if I grab that grip marker in the middle, I can move it 360 degrees. So if I move it to here, all the labeling updates. I can grab it on this from this arrow here, and it will drag it out according to the grade on the incoming tangent. Same thing on the other side. If I grab this grip marker here, it will update according to the outgoing tangent slope. And again, I can grab the center marker. I'm now in a fill situation, so you can see the existing ground and the proposed grade. If I wanted to put that in a cut situation, I just bring it down below the existing ground. Now, this can be done whether you are at this point in design or if you've got a completed plan set. This updating can still happen because everything that is reading this profile will actually update regardless of whether it's in a plan set form or in this stage of design.